Yesterday, Ann Romney was on The View. And I'm getting on the plane and I'm watching the highlights of The View, and I thought to myself, this is crazy. Whoopi Goldberg got into some anti-Mormon thing where she was like, and Mormons don't fight, right? No, that's what are you talking about? Right. No, there's a lot of Mormons that are in the military right now and fighting. Well, your sons didn't fight, so how are you going to be able to grieve with fallen soldiers' families? How are you going to grieve? You got to be kidding me. Here's exactly what she said.
As First Lady, if you get the job, it's going to entail a lot of things, and one of those things is going to be talking to the mothers whose children are coming home in bags, from wars. Now, I believe that your religion doesn't allow you to go fight.
No, that's not correct.
Okay, so
we have many, many members of our faith that are serving in armed services.
Okay. Well, I say that because when I read about your husband, what I had read, and maybe you can correct this, is that the reason that he didn't serve in Vietnam was because it was against the religion. That's what I read.
No, that's not correct.
So just an indication of her unmitigated ignorance there.
No, she's being fair, she's being balanced, and she's being well-researched there, Pat.
Right, yes.
Okay, Michelle Obama has been on The View multiple times, has she not?
Yes.
She was just on a few weeks ago.
Right.
But that was with her husband.
Yep.
Last spring, however, she made a solo stop on The View. So as I'm on the plane, I look at Pat and I said, you know what, Pat, when we get to Orlando, let's go find that episode and compare and contrast here. What are the first 10 questions that the ladies posed to both of the candidates' wives? Just the questions. Let's see if we can detect any discernible difference in the way that two ladies are treated here, because that should speak volumes. That should show us a little bit about
how fair they are, how non-biased they are.
How non-biased they are.
I mean, there's no better example, really, than comparing apples to apples. You have two. One is a first lady, the other's a potential first lady, and they've both been on the exact same show. And so how are they each treated?
Right. So let's look at the questions. Just the questions, not the answers. Let's look at the questions of the ladies on The View. First for Michelle Obama. Question number one.
Talk about gardens and what we can do to be healthy and so forth. Here's your book. But we're going to talk about beautiful pictures and all about gardens and getting healthy and so on.
Healthy.
However,
yes.
Before we get to that, we have a few questions we'd like to ask you.
Absolutely.
In an interview just recently, you said, and I quote, that you are sometimes unsure if you are a classic First Lady and if the things you do are okay. Yeah. So why do you feel this way, and who is your idea of a classic First Lady?
Oh, that's penetrating. That's
that is.
that's.
And you notice the difference here. First of all, it is, hey, how you doing? How you doing? I know, because I've been with the witch named Barbara Walters, and I stress the word witch. Number two, here is the second question for Michelle Obama.
Okay, so you want to go all 10 with Michelle first?
You want to go A and B? We can do it. We can go.
I wasn't sure if we wanted to do it A, B, go first question to first question, or go through all 10. It might be better to go through all 10.
Yeah, let's go through all 10.
Yeah.
Let's get a sample of. Let's get a little sample here of Michelle Obama.
They just get tougher as we go.
Okay.
Do you have doubts? Do you say to yourself, maybe I've gone too far?
It's not doubt.
Okay, that was question number 2. When you have, you're not this classic First Lady. So do you have doubts? Is that what?
I maybe went too far. Okay.
All right. Here's question number 3.
So, I just kind of go with me.
You're very popular too, so it's working. You're very popular.
You're very popular.
People love you.
Yeah.
People love you. Okay.
Yeah, people love you. You're very popular. Now, it's not it's technically not a question.
No,
but
it's
I guess
setting up the next question.
Okay, here's the next question.
Special position, and we've talked about this before, because your husband is our first black president. You are our first black First Lady. Do you think in this campaign, which is getting fairly ugly, that racism is still going to be a part of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Is
I don't know, I can
racism
take
still-
somebody. I mean, how did she last? How did
know.
she last through this?
This
horrible?
is a withering inquisition. Withering.
It really is. Inquisition is the right word.
This country put him in office.
That's right.
In this country.
And they will again.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Let me ask you this, because I have to follow up with that for a minute, which is that, you know, he is under assault, personal attacks, which I'm personally offended by, and they upset me, and I hate it. But
You and Grandma. Hey, Mom.
Okay, so now Joy is telling her that her husband is under personal attacks, and that personally offends her.
Right.
That offends Joy.
She hates it.
She
now, I
hates
want
it.
you to know that's not a question
Not
either.
a question.
Not a question.
I think there's one coming.
I wonder if you are as upset as people like me.
There it
Are
is.
you as upset as I
He's
am?
getting these attacks like you don't believe he was born here. All sorts of lies are out there.
Lies.
What do you do?
You know.
Oh, ouch. How do
Ow.
you answer a question like that?
That's tough. I hope they get to some easy questions like on gardening soon.
Number 6.
And that's what Barack models. You know, his motto is they go small, you go big. That means you always take the high ground. Because you don't get lost.
And
in the
doesn't he,
chatter
though?
and the
No, he
noise.
does.
And that's
Doesn't
why
he?
he's
He
been
does.
Such a phenomenal president.
No,
Yes,
is that
phenomenal.
why? I was wondering.
Focused on getting this country back on
there a
track.
question
And
coming?
that's the
Yes.
president we need. I'm going to be working for that man.
Me
Well, you
too.
know,
Just to show the joy of
the president does
the interview.
for the world. But I heard that he does something special for you at night. President Obama, your husband. I wonder, he tucks you in at night.
You know,
You've got to be kidding me.
That is number 7.
All right,
He tucks you in at night.
we're up to number 8, counting all the way down to number 10. Here we go.
at 9 o'clock, I'm barely hanging in there. Malia now is staying up later than me doing homework. It's really pathetic.
About the election, how do you, because this is going to be, people say this will be the toughest election.
All right, so here comes, what's her face? Elizabeth Hasselbeck. So here's
Okay.
the conservative of the group. Surely this is going to be tough.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of political pressure, but as a family, how do you talk to the girls now? Because they're older. The perspective is probably a little different than it was 4 years ago. What do
8
you
questions
say to them
in.
about practically what could not happen moving into November? Do you talk about it?
You know,
Okay, what do you talk
Okay.
to your kids about? Ooh, brutal.
Okay, number 9.
Golly. Yes.
the girls, they are amazing. They keep us grounded. Yeah.
Well, so you guys have been married 20 years.
20 years.
What's your secret? What's your secret?
Told
Yeah.
by the president.
Yeah, what did he say?
Well, he mentioned
He
that
mentioned
you like
gifts?
to tease him. No, he didn't say much about gifts, but
I
he
thought he
said
might
you
have
like
shared
to...
what he was gonna get
No,
me.
no, he didn't tell us. We did ask, though.
Here comes.
That you tease him.
Oh, mercilessly. Oh, yeah.
Does he tease you?
No.
Oh, man.
Question number
Holy,
9.
do
Does
you?
he tease you?
Okay, now here's the last. Then they saved the hardest question for last, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, it's
Here it
brutal.
is. Brutal.
I want to ask you, because we do want to have time to talk about the gardens and so on, but there have been rumors that if the president is not reelected, or even in the future, that you might consider running for political office.
Okay.
Okay,
All
will
right.
you run? He doesn't. Will you, please? Could you run? And then we're going to come back with gardening questions. Okay. It was a brutal, withering interview. I don't know
Vicious.
how the weight loss that she must have experienced just through sweat on that one.
Yeah.
Now, let's go to the
Ann Romney yesterday.
the puff piece that is Ann Romney. Let's see if there's any difference.
So we've been talking primarily about the women.
Notice the difference. Notice already
stark.
the difference. There's no talking over each other. There's no sound from the audience. There's nothing. It is a cold, clinical surgery without any anesthesia. Here it is.
So we've been talking primarily about the women's issues. And one of the things with your husband was that when he was a governor, he was pro-choice. and now is against abortions, except in the case of rape and incest in the life of the mother. I wonder what your views are. Were you the same way when he was a governor? Have you changed? I'm sure you've had discussions about this.
Okay, so the first question here. Abortion. and your husband has flip-flopped. Have you?
Abortion.
Wow.
We're starting with abortion.
Wow.
But wait, the dental surgery gets even better.
Let me ask you something to the economic point. Do you think that access to contraception and abortion is an economic issue, as I was saying in the Hot Topics?
Okay. All right.
Question 3.
So, as First Lady, if you get the job, it's going to entail a lot of things, and one of those things is going to be talking to the mothers whose children are coming home in bags, you know, from wars. Now, I know
stop for a second. Just stop for a second. Stop for just a second. Whoopi, you should remove the word bags. from your vocabulary. It just makes me think of you and the women there on the couch. Your men are going to be coming home in bags. Kind of like us here. She is so horrible. All right, go ahead.
Doesn't allow you to go fight.
No, that's not correct.
Okay, so
We have
we've already heard this. So now we have the back in 1968, your husband didn't fight in Vietnam.
Yep.
How can you possibly relate to people?
Right.
okay. Well, I say that because when I read about your husband, what I had read, and maybe you can correct this, is that the reason that he didn't serve in Vietnam was because it was against the religion. That's
Okay, so we heard this part at the beginning, and then she continues with the sons.
So when you are facing these mothers whose children have not come back, how will you explain to them that your sons
Okay, I don't think that's going to be a
haven't
question,
gone? Or
Whoopi.
will you talk about the missions that they've gone on?
I think
I don't know.
Okay.
I might handle it the same way Michelle Obama does, whose husband didn't serve.
Okay, hang on just a second. No, I will handle it. I will handle it better than this administration does. We won't have form letters. We won't have form letters. How's that one? I mean, unbelievable. Now, hang on. We're going to get to gardening here in just a second. Here's the next question.
they're being made by families.
Well, we had a lot of people during the convention who talked about the compassion of your family and the compassion
So this
of your
is
husband.
a little tender.
We're going to get to you, Josh, because your brother said
Listen
that
to
I
this.
think he said he'd like to take a swipe or a swap or a punch or something. Swing at President. So I want to know how you feel. We all want to know how you feel. So you think you're going to have an easy ride here? Just stay here. We'll be right back.
Wow. Okay,
Wow.
so that's a threat to Josh, who's sitting in the audience, watching his mother. And so she takes a swipe now at him. Now, your brother said he was going to take a swing at the president.
But if you think you're going to have an easy ride,
You're not.
just wait, because we're coming back more with your mom. I mean,
is
unbelievable.
They're being made by families.
Here's another
Well,
one.
we had a lot of people during the convention who talked about the compassion of your family.
No, we've
and
already
the
heard that
compassion.
one.
Yeah, we got
Give
that
me,
one.
what
All
do we...
right, so here we are.
Ann Romney. So, Ann, we mentioned Josh before, is in the audience here. Son, who actually has 5 kids of his own, 4 sons, 1 little girl, Grace, right?
Grace.
Adorable.
Yeah.
I know that there's been some sort of like family intervention in terms of campaign, new stuff that's going on. You're involved. What are those? And then also, do you have aspirations of a political career at all?
Okay, so
they got the one question.
Question 8. Finally, they get to Elizabeth, and she asks, a decent question about his family. And is something that's not...
So 8 questions in on the Inquisition. Now, here's cut
number
9.
The governor actually, I know you've been together, 43 years of marriage. That is exceptional. And a bunch of grandkids, as Barbara mentioned. There was one point, though, I think that, did you guys almost break up?
Well, not according to Mitt.
Okay, so there's number 9, and the final question.
That's what I want to know. And I'm so glad it's only 17, 18, and
This
19 that
isn't
your boys are in the selfish stage. Good. Okay, 3 years. But, I heard, Mrs. Romney, that you don't watch any TV. What do you do all day if you don't watch TV?
Okay, so...
What do you do all day? That's not it. That's a slam on women.
Yeah.
What do you do all day if you don't watch TV? Wait a minute. They were the ones who said she never worked for a day in her life. So if you're staying at home, you just have to watch TV because you have nothing else to do. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you just must watch TV all day. My gosh, these women are despicable. They're really despicable. And I say that with first-hand knowledge. I've been on that show before. They are despicable witches. Ooh, did I say that out loud? Let me say it again. Despicable witches.